Do you think it's possible to go through this weave with the bike completely off? Behind me, I have set up my white belt weave in my MotoJitsu master riding program. I recently quizzed my audience on the community section of my YouTube channel, asking if it was possible to successfully maneuver through this exercise with the bike completely off. So as you approach the cones, you pull and hold in the clutch and hit the engine cutoff switch button and try to coast all the way through this drill. For so long, it has been said over and over again by motorcycle instructors, moto cops, YouTubers, and everybody else that the clutch is the most important thing for low-speed drills. And that's true most of the time for newer riders. However, is it always necessary? This video will prove it's not for everything you do. So here's what you're about to see. I'll first go through the weave normally, how most people will do when they go out and practice my drills. And that's with the clutch, the throttle, and a little bit of rear brake. Next, I'm gonna break down a myth a lot of people think where you can't use your front brake during low speed drills because you'll automatically fall. So the second run will be front brake only. The third time I go through it, no brakes whatsoever, clutch and throttle. And then I'll go through it clutch only, so one-handed, and then I'll go through again with throttle only, both one-handed. After that, I'll show you a couple more variations. Then I'll finally demonstrate you can go through this weave with the bike completely off. So this is all to demonstrate what's really possible and to go above and beyond all the basic information you've been taught. So let's get into it. All right, everyone, let's see what this stuff looks like from my perspective. And then I got the cameraman over there from the third person's perspective. And here's the list of the order of all the different ways I'll demonstrate, finishing up with the bike completely off. So first time going through white belt weave, just going through it normal, slipping the clutch, little bit of throttle when I need it, and kind of dragging the rear brake. This is what most people do when they start practicing low speed drills. It's what a lot of other people on YouTube recommend. Slip the clutch, a little bit of throttle, and rear brake. Basic stuff. So now, 2 fingers up on the front brake. I'm going to go through the same exact thing, but front brake only. So the problem with the front brake at low speed turns is, if you're at lean angle and you grab the brake, it could be very easy to drop the bike. Like right now, I'm just using 5% brake. Smoothly on, smoothly back off. It's just a small percentage. Everything else is the same, but front brake only. So you can use the front brake even at low speeds, at high speeds, middle of the turn. You can use the front brake whenever you want to. The only thing that matters is how you use the brake. And as long as you are not grabbing the brake or doing anything abrupt, you're perfectly fine. Next, I'm going to go through no brakes whatsoever. A lot of people have a false assumption that make videos about low speed turning, moto cops, former moto cops, whatever, that you have to use the rear brake. No, you don't. Moto cops get taught no rear brake in their school just to master the clutch and throttle. Look at what I'm doing right now. No front brake, no rear brake. I want to slow down, I pull in the clutch. I want to go a little bit faster, I ease out the clutch, a little bit of throttle. But you do not have to use the rear brake to go through low speed turns. I recommend in my MotoJitsu program, only begin to use the rear brake once you've already completed white and blue belt drills. Then you add the rear brake. Because 3 balls are harder to juggle than 2. So get the fundamentals down first. Clutch and throttle only first. Alright, next, here we go. I'm going to go through one-handed. Look, my hand is off and I'm doing clutch only. One-handed, clutch only. Same exact thing. Same weave pattern. Now when the bike feels like it's going to fall, I ease out the clutch a tiny bit. But just using the clutch only, no problem. Another way to go through, another way to challenge yourself, right? And another thing to keep in mind, you masters all this stuff, now switch bikes. Get a couple buddies together, now do it on a different bike. Whole different experience riding something like this versus a sport bike versus a big old Harley, right? So that was clutch only, and now no brakes, once again, just like the clutch only, no brakes. Now, look at that, hand off the clutch, throttle only. So I'm pretty much just idling. Same thing. There we go. Throttle only. Throttle only. The next variation I'm going to show you is standing up. No brakes. All I'm going to be using is the clutch. So if you have a dual sport bike, right, and you're going off-road, well, get used to standing up. Stand up only. No brakes. Here we go. Let's go through this. And you'll see from the camera's perspective over there, you want to lean the bike into it and your outside leg goes away. So imagine the cones are fire and you lean the bike into the fire, but you push your body away from the fire. You see that? Go back and watch that again. So that's one variation you can do, stand up, dual sport bike. And then if you really want to challenge yourself, right, let me show you this. So now I'm transitioning. I'm putting my right foot on the left foot peg
And now I'm going to go through the same thing again. No brakes, only clutch, but now I'm side saddle. My right foot is on the left foot peg. Just more comfortability, right? Go above and beyond the basics. Here we go, side saddle. Same principle. Same principle. Clutch only. Look at that, side saddle. Whee! 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 And just because, let me switch to the other side, and I will go side saddle the other direction. Haven't done this in a while. So this will be fun. Now my left foot is on the right foot peg. Same thing but opposite. Once again, no brakes whatsoever, only using the clutch. Here we go. Whee! 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 Alright, so a lot of people think the bike must be running, you must have centripetals, you must have a whole lot of physics in the bike and the engine. The bike has to be on. There's no way you can go through that stuff with the bike off. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Let's demonstrate it. So what you need is momentum. So I'm going to gain some speed, go right into it, pull in the clutch, and hit the engine cutoff switch. And just go right through into the weave. So here we go. Turning the bike off, no power whatsoever. All you need is momentum. Check it out. Bike's off. No power whatsoever. I'm slowing down. Last little bit. Turn the bike back on. No power whatsoever. I'm slowing down. Last little bit. Turn the bike back on. And then keep going. So I turned it on slightly a little bit too late because I had to put my foot down. So I'm going to go through it again. And it's such a weird thing because it's completely silent. So right away going into it, the first 3 or 4 turns, you have to like really counter steer and like get this thing to lean very, very, very quickly. Very efficient lines, you see what I'm saying? You have to do the thing very aggressive. But as the slower you go through the weave, then you have to be a little bit more, like you can't lean as much because you don't have enough power to bring it back up, right? So it's a balance of the timing of what you do, everything else, but you just need momentum. So here we go again. And at the end, I'm going to pull in the clutch and start the bike back up without putting my foot back down on the ground. So here we go. Let's try it again. Clutch in. Here we go. There you go. Roll past the last cone, bite off, start the bike back up, didn't put my foot down, keep on rolling. So yes, you can go through my MotoJitsu weave with no power. You just need momentum. Momentum. It's an anemone. So here's a little bit better way to look at the cones. 7 cones, 3 foot offset. So this is white belt. Blue belt is 15 by 5 foot. Brown belt is 15 by 7 foot. And then black belt, where the tape is, 15 by 10 foot offset. That's a hell of an offset, right? So it gets more and more challenging as you go through. So highly recommend get out there and practice this stuff. If you think it's easy, I make it look easy. Well, it is pretty easy for me. But get out there and practice yourself. Let's go through one more time. Bike completely off. Here we go. It's so weird that it's quiet. Make it through the last one. Clutch in. Start the bike back up. And here we go.
So as you just saw, there are many ways to challenge yourself, and this is just white belt weave. It gets a whole lot more difficult the higher the belt levels go. So I have white belt, blue belt, brown belt, and black belt, where the weave, specifically the offset cones, get further and further distance away, making it way more challenging. The links to the books or my app with all the drills, you can find it in the description. So the main idea you have to understand by doing that is you have to have momentum. A lot of the times people say you have to be in the friction zone or have power to the bike to do a U-turn or for slow speed turns. That's only true if you're going to be spending a lot of time leaned over. However, if you just get your speed up, pull in the clutch, you will have enough momentum to coast through there if the speed is high enough. So what I did to make it through the weave is go about 15 miles per hour, pull in the clutch and hit that engine cutoff switch, and that's enough speed with the right technique to make it all the way through the weave. The same thing can be done with a simple U-turn or a full circle. So challenging yourself in a controlled environment like this is an awesome way to build confidence with yourself and the bike. Practicing these types of drills just a few times a week will elevate your skills and confidence immediately. And the whole purpose is to push yourself here, at courses, at track days. So therefore, the hardest thing you do are in these controlled environments and not on the street. After doing these types of things, the street should be easy. If you didn't notice, there are too many riders crashing out there. Alcohol, excessive speed, distracted drivers, going way above and beyond their skill, peer pressure, trying to keep up, and it's all very unnecessary. Simple things you could do: wear full quality gear, keep on educating yourself, and practice very difficult things to do in a controlled environment like this can greatly reduce your chances of getting into a crash. And this is my challenge to all of you. Do everything I just did. First, go through the white belt weave normally. Then front brake only, rear brake only, standing up, side stand with the bike off, and see how far you can actually push yourself and your machine. Then, once you've mastered that, move on to blue belt and repeat the whole process. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit subscribe, almost at 500,000 subscribers.